Hi, my name is Pastor Stephanie Lape. I serve at Cross and Crown Lutheran Church in Rancho Cucamonga, California, and I'm coming to you from Corona, right outside of a park that I like to go to a couple blocks from my home on a very, very warm day. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I'd like to talk to you about war and warfare, which is weird coming from a pastor because we follow the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ. And we talk about love all the time and forgiving our enemies and things like that. So we normally don't talk about war. However, I come from a Marine Corps family, and there's a lot of people in the Army also in my family, and that imagery of warfare just feels appropriate lately on some levels. Now, I don't think that the enemy that we have is people. I think that the enemy we all have right now is this virus. And I think that it's super dangerous to think that our enemy is another person or a group of people. Jesus Christ himself lived in a time where the religious authority were dividing people into us versus them and drawing a circle as to say who was inside and who were the outsiders. You know, who was inside the grace and the love of God, who were the acceptable ones, and who were the enemies. And Jesus constantly reached outside that circle and befriended people outside that circle, and in fact said the circle doesn't even really exist. So I'm cautious of saying other people are our enemies, even people that I might disagree with or see things differently from. And I would caution you to do the same, to be aware of that and not make other people the enemy. But we do live through times, really difficult times, where a situation can be seen as an enemy. And whether it's the Great Depression, whether it's World War II, Vietnam, different plagues and sicknesses and things like that. And we together can think of it that way, to mobilize our forces, really, and not just our people, but the spiritual forces around us, to pray and to mobilize in order to defeat this enemy. You know, I read the Psalms a lot in the Bible, and the Psalms talk about, God, please help us with this enemy. And so I often read those thinking of the current situation at the time. But again, a word of caution to not think of that as human beings. Well, when I am thinking these days about warfare, I think it's an act of spiritual warfare to be positive. There was a person that I know, another pastor, who had a website up, a Facebook group that he started, where people could post pictures of things that gave them joy, where they found joy. And so I thought that was a really neat idea. And being on that site for a couple of days helped me feel more joyful. And so I talked to him and I said, hey, can I steal your idea? Because we always steal ideas. That's what we do. We borrow from one another and, use what we learn from other people. So I said, hey, can I steal this and create a Facebook group also? And he said, no problem. I stole this from somebody else. So it's great. We just pass it forward. So I created a Facebook group called Light a Single Candle. And that comes from that phrase that I said in another video. It is better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness. And on that page, I'm asking people to post pictures or to tell stories of how they're lighting a single candle to keep their focus positive. So as I was talking to this other pastor about his page and how much I had gained from being part of his page, he said, well, I think it's a really good positive distraction. And I agree with what he said totally, but I think it's even more than that. I think it's spiritual warfare. I think that we are Easter people. We are people of the resurrection. Thousands of years ago, all the forces of hell mobilized to try to defeat God, to try to defeat love, to try to defeat new life, and they lost. So we're living after the end of that great battle, that cosmic battle of good versus evil, if you will, and we know who won, and it's God. Now, it doesn't always feel very good to be on this ride. It's kind of like roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. I'm not a big fan. And people say to me, well, they're safe and you're not going to die or anything. Of course, I know. I believe that they're generally safe. It's just I don't like the feeling of it all, of falling on a roller coaster. And so right now in this pandemic, we are living on a roller coaster. We have roller coasters of emotions and of situations, and it's just kind of a crazy ride. It can even be a terrifying ride. Yet, however, we know that this ride is ultimately safe. Not that it means that no harm will come to us. Harm might come to us, but ultimately we are held safe in the hands of God. And so we fight this battle because we are resurrection people. So I put out these little rocks. Here's one I just wrote to put out today at a park. It says hope. I'm not trying to boast that I'm so great by doing these silly little rocks. I mean, honestly, this does not take a lot of work. There's nothing special to this. And if it's interpreted that I'm trying to boast and say, oh, look what a beautiful, wonderful, loving person I am, you misunderstand. I'm trying to encourage people to fight the good fight, to claim that hope is stronger than fear, to claim that God's got this, to claim that we are safe even though we're on this roller coaster ride, to claim that the tomb is empty even though the forces of hell try to stand against it. I hope that makes sense. We're doing battle. This isn't just positively distracting ourselves from all the negative stuff going on. This is to say, hey, I'm clear-minded and clear-eyed about the negative stuff going on, but I still believe and I still proclaim that God is bigger than this, that the story is finished and we know the ending, and that it's already been won. The cross wasn't the end. The empty tomb was the end of that battle. And it is the end of every battle. Death does not win. Life does. We got every reason to hope. So please understand, I'm trying to pass this forward. Do what you can to be a warrior in this battle with me in your own way. We do small things with great love because we're engaged in this warfare. And I think it's fighting the good fight. I really do. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Share this with friends. Hit the little thumbs up if you like the video. That encourages us to keep going with these things. And engage in this battle with me. It's a non-violent one, and it's not against people. It's against the forces of darkness that would have us think that we are lost, and we are not. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.